2018, Next Level Rugby was all over the country and the world, bringing you coverage of our sport up close and personal. It all started in Denver, then headed out to Vegas, and then next thing you know, we're in New York City, Japan, Austin, Texas, and a bunch of other places all across the country. But we would really like to thank the players, our fans, and most importantly, our partners that are helping to drive the growth of American rugby here in the United States and beyond. So let's just take a look at some of the shots that, we really loved and fell in love with, and, what made 2018 a special year is going to make 2019 even better. We're looking forward to what 2019 brings, and stay tuned. And remember, every day is a rugby day.
Here at the Yale Rugby facility in New Haven, Connecticut, where we have some sevens matches coming up. To the hometown Yale University women versus Southern Connecticut State University women. We'll match here at Next Level Rugby. Before the main event, the Ancient Eight is going to be Yale men versus Harvard men. Coming up at 5:30 here on Next Level Rugby. I am John Broker. I'm joined by Liam Quinn and David Corky Kelly for this match. As you take a look at the Southern team warming up here, just a little bit of a curtain raiser here. Should be a bit of fun to watch, boys.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how the pitch holds up out there. I'd say conditions are a bit soft, so it'll be very important to stay on top of your opposite number. If they're getting away from you, they're probably gone.
Yeah, seven's such a fast and open game. Once somebody's away, that's try time.
So, what we're looking at here is you're going to have a bit of a power team in the Southern team wearing the black and gold on the screen that you see there. Yale and obviously their traditional blue and white are going to be a bit more of a speed team. So it'll be interesting to see who can use up those outside channels and who can really make something happen in this game. So we'll just wait for these teams to get ready, and we'll be good to go with Rugby Sevens action in just a moment here in New Haven, Connecticut.
Through local sponsorships, Tradeview Markets is committed to helping the sport of rugby grow. Investing in local amateur rugby teams around the world allows Tradeview to make a positive impact in the team's community and provide support where it is really needed, rather than advertising with professional teams that don't need the money. Rugby has played a huge role in Tradeview's phenomenal success. Many of our staff play or coach rugby, and we recognize the positive influence the sport has had in their lives. This is our way of giving back to the sport. Our goal is to put a Try Tradeview logo on every top local rugby team jersey in the world.
It's game time here in New Haven as Southern Connecticut is set to kick off here. You see Sarah Vajas is going to kick the ball off. We're number 10. Black and gold running from right to left on your screen is going to be Southern Connecticut. And on left to right in the white jerseys with navy shorts is going to be the Yale Women's Rugby Club. And kicked off they go, and we are underway. A little bit of an early knock on there, it looks like, from this Yale team. And they're going to bring that back. The referee says, indeed, is a knock-on, not the way you want to start that game, boys.
That's an unfortunate way to start a game. Just a bit of nerves there. That's an awkward foot to get off on.
We'll have our first scrums game here, and you can see from our earlier analysis, there's definitely a size advantage in these Southern Connecticut girls. They're going to try to power through this and keep the ball tight, as you see number 9, Tasha Neal, to feed this ball.
Yeah, in a great starting position just from the second play of the game now.
Ball's in, and it looks like Yale's turned that over, and Yale is on the go here. Gets the ball quickly in the center of the field. They're going to try to take the exit route.
That's
and
a good
across
break.
The 40, across the 50 they go. Yale University not back in her own pace. Trying to put a little pass in there, slips forward.
That was unfortunate. Would have been great to take advantage of that now, but there was no support, and unfortunate she couldn't hold up the ball long enough, and a forward pass. It's going to be a scrum back.
They're going to go back for it. It's going to be a scrum here to Southern for that forward pass. scrum here this time again for Southern, but a little back on their own 40-meter line as we're just a minute into this first 7-minute half. It's also Olympic-style rugby, an interesting thing. Just kind of coming, obviously 2 Irish fellows I have working the game with me today. We'll talk a little bit. Another stolen scrum there from Yale. We'll come back to our thoughts in just a minute as the ball gets moved in the center of the field. Referee says play on. It is Southern ball right at midfield. Off they go. Yale just piling into that. Everybody in the field within about 5-10 meters of each other, but we have a penalty against Southern Connecticut for hands in there, and Yale's going to elect to go quick here. They've got a few players out wide. A big handoff comes in there, and off they go across the 22-meter line. She's got 4 people on her. She hands another one off and is able to work the ball back. See if they can make this happen, as a hand came in there from one of the Southern players, but referee says otherwise. They're going to have a penalty there to Southern getting out of jail.
So unfortunate there. That was another great break, a powerful run running straight through the lines and just showing their physical dominance. Bit of a surprise here from Yale at the start of the game.
And from inside their own 22, they're going to have a go and try to work this ball. Southern, they've got a long way to go. Ball has been turned over, and here goes Yale. Can they get to the corner? Try coming, and Yale University puts the first points on the board. I can't get quite the number on that jersey, but a nice little work move there off the penalty, and off they go. Easy try.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see now going forward how the scrum plays out, because Yale's showing some early dominance against the head. That could be a real disadvantage to Southern if they can't at least achieve parity in that position.
Yale pretty much concedes that they're not going to hit that kick for the extra points. We're at 5-0 to Yale, just a couple of minutes in here. So what I was saying, the Irish sevens teams are just starting to really pick up in a bit more promise there. And the U.S. men and women both ranked in the top 2 or 3 in the world right now going into an Olympic year. Be a big moment here. You may see some of these girls someday, some of these players playing on that team is a real good pathway now. But tell us, it's starting to pick up a bit.
Yeah, sevens is obviously hugely popular in Europe, but you find the Irish team are just come to the fore, having put some bit more money into it recently.
Yeah, they're getting good results from it there. I had a chance to call some of the provinces last year, some of the development teams against one of our Major League Rugby teams, and they had a number of players in the sevens development program coming in there. So it was fantastic. As we get a ball not going 10 here, so Southern's going to be able to take that and go off on their own. As again, it's Tasha Neal in that distributor position. This time they go for a little bit of a kick. Yale has to go back and field that. That's
great turnover.
14, Grace Zerba takes that in, and they turn it over. Another penalty advantage. I think there's a penalty advantage coming here, but Southern's still free to play the ball, and they're outside the 22. They've got room either way if they choose to go that way, as Kaylee Boisvert takes that one in. Turnover again here, and they're good to go. They're up 5-0. Can she take the corner? Let's see how they go. As it's a number 20 for Yale, taking a turn across the 40. Does she back her own pace? She's got somebody chasing her down. That is Sarah Vajas trying to catch her, but nothing happening there. Yale is going to extend their lead. 10-0 we are in this first half of Rugby Sevens action here at the Yale University Rugby Grounds.
Yale looking very good on the counter-attack so far. Southern doing all that work, and then it's just being put to waste, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can see both teams are defending quite narrow at the minute. So as soon as there's a turnover or a break in play, there's a lot of opportunity out wide.
Southern going to make a couple of changes here as we're still at 10-0. See how much time there is to go. A little replay here. That bit tight, but in the end, the Yale player just got away with it.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to. We're probably going to see players more reluctant to tackle in these conditions. It's very nippy out there.
Yeah, it's a bit chilly out. Probably have something to do with the bad handling at the beginning of this game. Wasn't exactly what we wanted to see.
I think once fingers start to go numb, that's it. You got to stay warm, and you got to really pay attention to ball retention.
And another kick. Doesn't look like it's going to go 10, but finally makes it. And Southern on the attack here late in the first half. The opportunity to draw things a little closer before the break, as Yale just pile over there, bodies laying on the ground, but referee says that's cool. And they are going to be on their way again. Here goes Yale on the run. They're at the 22. She's already scored one, but ball knocked out of her hand. Referee says play on. And there's Tasha Neal, Tasha Neal takes it into contact. 2 Yale players it takes to take her down. Southern just needs a little break here. Needs to get themselves set, get through a couple of phases.
They're attacking very narrow.
So there's a chance out wide if they can just stretch the.
There we go.
There they go again. Let's see if she can convert this one. Yale headed for a third try, extend their lead to 15. Should be able to get it right on the post here. Maybe a bit for an easier kick. That was Ada Griffin touching that ball down.
Not taking any chances with the conversion there.
And here we'll take another look at it.
Yeah, it's just a turnover on the ground. Everybody's very narrow. 2 ships with the ball and they're way down the wing.
Ada Griffin really has a lot of teammates to thank for that one. Wasn't too much work for her. She just had to get down the sideline and touch it down. Our coach Craig Wilson talking about the fitness of this team earlier, that they consider themselves to be a bit fitter than most of these Southern players. So opportunity there to really make it happen. It looks like that's the end of our first half of sevens action here at the Yale Rugby Ground on Next Level Rugby. We are going to be back with second half action in just a minute.
It's great. We all love each other. We all like hanging out at these tournaments. I mean,
just meeting so many new people and getting to know them is just amazing. And meeting so many new friends, definitely.
One word is family. Like, you got people like you can depend on.
Probably my favorite part of playing rugby is like I can forget any problem I'm having at school or at home or just any kind of worry or burden and just like give it my all on the field. And
we all choose to come here. We don't have to be here, you know. It's just good fun coming out on a Sunday, playing, getting all together, and just great.
All right, so yeah, I think it's the fact that we can play very hard, smack each other up, boom each other, and just eat good and talk to and laugh with each other after.
So, one thing that rugby's done for you?
It's brought up.
We're back for second half action here at the Yale Rugby Field, Yale Rugby Grounds. You're going to see a Yale University to kick off the second half with a comfortable 17-0 lead here on Next Level Rugby as Southern fields that one cleanly. Good run there by the big number 3. That is Bree Cummings taking that ball in, but turned over again by Yale. This seems to be the story of the game, fellas. And it knocked a little bit there, but they'll be okay, as that's number 4, Isabel Gonzalez, moves it out to the wing.
I think we're looking for 2 things here in the second half, right? We're looking for Southern to secure their ball at the breakdown, and then someone to take advantage of those wide channels, because as David was saying in the first half, it's just begging for someone to spin a wide pass and blow through the lines.
Thought it was a knock on there by Yale, but it turns out to be something against Southern, so we're looking for possibly another try here, but hauled down at the last second. No problem, however. Yale's going to be able to scoop that one up and touch down the try. We don't have number 14's name on our team list, unfortunately, but try awarded. Good second half start there from the Yale Bulldogs, and they advance their lead comfortably. I really don't see Southern to throw back in 7 minutes.
Can't come back from this in 7 minutes. It's a tough 7 minutes to see out the half, see out the game. But that's a nice little try, cute down the touchline.
And a hard angle there, as Yale's not going to convert that kick. It'll get 22-0. Yale over the visiting Owls of Southern Connecticut. Schools literally a couple of 100 yards from each other right here in New Haven. A good old rivalry been going on for years, as Yale set to kick this one off again. Yeah, without one of their coaches, Alicia Washington, playing with their women's Eagles, second row with about 21 caps for the Eagles. She's down in San Diego playing Canada, who they lost to in the driving rain yesterday in San Diego. And Yale again on the run, a little fend off there, and a sliding through the gap, no problem.
Great tackle.
A little saving tackle there from the Owls. Here is a multi-try scorer for the Bulldogs going one more time. And another try awarded as that lead keeps getting extended.
Yeah, there was a huge overlap there. Even if the tackle did stick by the post, we probably had 2 or 3 guys out wide on the right.
Yeah, and everything seems to be going through that Yale number 13. All their good play, everything's directed through her.
I think legs are starting to get tired now on the southern side.
I do. That's Grace Zerba that scored those tries, by the way. I do have that number. Go ahead.
So we could see this lead stretched even more. Just watch that replay there from number 13 again. The speed and the strength. Managed to hold off 2 or 3 players there.
I was kind of talking about this is the one of the city. The second half winds on here. Yeah, doesn't seem in too much of a hurry. I think they've got this one pretty much closed down. You want to just draw this out because they're going to have another game after. Make sure all their players get some time before the 5:30 matchup between the Yale men and the Harvard men. And again, fielded by Kaylee Boisvert. She takes it in. Southern puts together the phases there. A little tip by Tasha Neal. Referee spots it, and we're going to go back. It's going to be a scrum here for the Yale Bulldogs. Unlucky. It looked like they were going to possibly put something together there. Just had a couple of runners on the outside.
Thought we got away with one there. The ref's hand didn't go up straight away, but I'd love to see Southern string a couple of passes together, maybe a couple of phases, and get one back before the end of the game. Unfortunate there, just cold fingers. Couldn't pick it up off her boots.
Ada Griffin to feed this ball in for the Bulldogs. As they're just the 40-meter line here. Nice attacking position, middle of the field. We'll see where they decide to go. They've gone out to the left-hand side there, or to their right-hand side, pardon me.
Offload.
Yeah, nice little offloads coming straight up the middle here, and the Bulldogs on the run once again. Tackle not materializing from Southern. A couple of covering defenders coming across there. A little bit of a potential trip, but she got away with it. They're okay, and Yale continues on. Down in that left-hand corner, such a critical player for this team, that number 13 carrying the ball on. They pop the ball up. 15 style pick and go right on the try line here. One of the toughest places to score from occasionally in sevens, except for right there as 5 points are on the board. And try awarded to the Bulldogs one more time. Oh, the penalty against Yale. Pardon me, I guess I had a little bit of a wrong view here as it's Southern from their own line. Looking for that try this game.
I think 13 on Southern there must have put in 3 tackles in that one passage of play. She's everywhere.
And a kick comes in here. It's going to stay in the middle of the field. Very interesting sevens tactic when you're in on your own end. Attempted chip forward there by the Southern women. Soccer game is broken out in the middle of our rugby game for a second here. We're going to go back for a penalty against Yale. It'll be Southern's ball with just about a minute and a half left to go on the game clock. There could be a little bit of referee's time after this. We'll see. Southern now on the move. Keeping the ball tight. Good, powerful work there. Kaylee Bear one more time.
I think you'd like to see some more support from the Southern girls when the ball goes to ground, David.
Just an easy turnover there, and they're on the run again. Ball popped up there, headed for the 22, across the 22, a little shake and bake move. She's going to head towards the left-hand side, and try coming for Yale University one more time. Going to touch it down here, extend their lead to 32. We caught it there. This used to be a soccer stadium, fellas. There's a little bit of a sight line problem there where some of the cameras come down, but that one we seem to get right inside there, as you see the little, right after the goose steps, but she's made it through, and nice little footwork there from Yale to work another try.
That's the team's first missed tackle so far. She's going to be disappointed with that, but she did great to get across and cover.
conversion no good. We are late in the second half here, as we're going to go back and take another look.
Yeah, back to your point there, Liam. There's no protection at the scrum there for the scrum half to get the ball out, and it's been evident in some of the turnovers that Yale have had so far.
Well, scrum halves are always going to think they need more protection, John. I think that's why David is looking after the number 9s there.
The battle continues as we get another look at that little shake and bake move, and Yale extending their lead here as we're getting close to the end of our first game here. And it looks like we are at the end of our first game here. We're 32-0. The Yale Bulldogs have taken over the Owls of Southern Connecticut. We're going to be back with a second sevens game before the big matchup of the evening right after these words.
Through local sponsorships, Tradeview Markets is committed to helping the sport of rugby grow. Investing in local amateur rugby teams around the world allows Tradeview to make a positive impact in the team's community and provide support where it is really needed, rather than advertising with professional teams that don't need the money. Rugby has played a huge role in Tradeview's phenomenal success. Many of our staff play or coach rugby, and we recognize the positive influence the sport has had in their lives. This is our way of giving back to the sport. Our goal is to put a Try Tradeview logo on every top local rugby team jersey in the world.
What these guys have done for us, for our country, is something that could never be paid back, something that us as civilians could only appreciate and respect.
I mean, there's some hard stories in there, so they're all great guys. You wish they were still here today with you, but you understand, duty calls, they served a mission, and there's there's tragedy in everything, and a lot of them died in war, others died when they came back home, and there's a lot of suffering and pain involved, but you try to bring the good out in every situation, and this is our way of doing it.
My dad loved rugby, played it in college and played it in the Marine Corps.
Rugby was a big part of his life. It was a big thing that he enjoyed. It was a way to bond with others and to kind of release stress when he was in the Marine Corps. And John unfortunately died by suicide in 2005. Returned from a deployment in Iraq and really was struggling with depression and post-traumatic stress and didn't get the help he needed and died, 3 months after he returned.
He did get to play. We were supposed to play. First Marine killed in Afghanistan, and sometimes I wonder if it was my fault. I know I gotta be better. And I've been in a slump. I've had some hard times, and my daughter passed away 3 years ago, and it just all steamrolled. And then I finally got back around rugby again, and I got in touch with these guys, and I knew at that moment I had to, because I gotta fix myself for him and for her.
So, it's been 11 years since his death, and one of the things that I've really tried to do is to find things that my boys would be a part of that connected them to their dad.
Well, I'm just honored to play with these Marines and really just try to live live like my dad would want me to, and I think he would just be he would love to see me out here, and I wish he was out here with us. I know if he knew about this after he retired or got out or had the time, I know he would be right up here with us. So just trying to carry on the legacy, and I love playing rugby too. But play with these guys and kind of just play for my dad, play for all these other fallen Marine rugby players.
The importance of veterans and supporting them. I mean, they say freedom's not free, so it comes with a cost, an expensive one. So we hope that America likes what we're doing for them. Just want everybody to care as much as we do.
rugby fans. Rugby is everywhere. The giant is awakening, and Rugby Wrap-Up is there with the alarm clock. Rugby Wrap-Up, global rugby coverage, sometimes with a wink. Weekly studio shows, daily website content, breaking news, evolving stories, the biggest names in the game on camera, all over social media. Pundits from all corners of the planet, local, global, professional, amateur, female, and male. Find it all on rugbywrapup.com.
Hey everybody, it is 2019 and in 2018, Next Level Rugby was all over the country and the world, bringing you coverage of our sport up close and personal. It all started in Denver, then headed out to Vegas, and then next thing you know, we're in New York City, Japan, Austin, Texas, and a bunch of other places all across the country. But we would really like to thank the players, our fans, and most importantly, our partners that are helping to drive the growth of American rugby here in the United States and beyond. So let's just take a look at some of the shots that, we really loved and fell in love with, and, what made 2018 a special year is going to make 2019 even better. We're looking forward to what 2019 brings, and stay tuned. And remember, every day is a rugby day.
Welcome back to the Yale Rugby Ground. We have women's sevens action here between Yale University on this big Yale-Harvard weekend and the Southern Connecticut State University Owls. We're here at the Yale Rugby Pitch in New Haven, Connecticut. This is John Broker. I'm joined by rugby aficionados Liam Quinn and David Kelly for this matchup as Yale picks up the ball. They are in the white and blue in black and gold. Running from right to left on your screen is going to be Southern. Yale in the first game had really the go of it, boys. We'll see if Southern can pick it up here and learn a little bit. Knock off the head there, so that doesn't quite work. And Southern, early in this game, has the opportunity as Boisvert takes it in. But a little early knock on there, and nothing happened. So, Yale really had the run of the play in that first game there. What kind of corrections do you think these Southern players, Southern Connecticut players, need to make in the second game?
I think we're already seeing them get stuck in a bit harder, much better start to that game. Guys really getting involved in the breakdown. I think they'll be looking to work on handling, especially in these cold conditions, numb fingers, handling, and then winning their own scrum back.
They're missing their coach today, Dylan Turner, who has had an unfortunate ACL injury this week. Sunshine, we hope you're going to heal up quick. Everybody's missing you down here at the Yale rugby pitch as Yale now on the move early in this second game. The night descends on New Haven, Connecticut here. And a quick turnover there, and here goes Southern. They've got a runner outside if they can get the ball out there. Unfortunately, no. Tackle comes in, but they are going to be able to recycle this ball. They have an advantage here if you look at the referee's arm. But Bavera knocks that one down. We're going back here for a penalty. Looks like an offsides penalty against the Yale Bulldogs.
That's
a
unfortunate.
scrum penalty. Sorry, though, the arm was pointing up there. It looked like a penalty advantage. It'll be a scrum here for Southern. Great attacking position.
Yeah, it was unfortunate there. We're like really letting themselves down with the handling in the first half. So if they can make passes stick from this and win their scrum, there's so much space out wide that we really saw just begging to be exploited in the first half, in the first game.
Off we come with Tasha Neal. Tasha Neal taken to the ground there, and it wisely keeps the ball alive as the Owls are now on the move. Neal again hasn't been able to get herself free there. She puts the ball on to Sarah Vajas. Vajas cuts the other way. Vajas cannot find another runner, and it's just a little bit of one-off runner ball here for Southern, but they're doing a better job keeping that ball alive. They had some turnover problems in that first game as Taylor Lubin gets hauled back to her 40-meter line. Maintaining possession but losing ground. See what they can do here. Ball is back in the hands of Vajas. Vajas, certainly good runner if she can get herself free. That little pop-up game is working pretty well for him right now.
Yale seem to be keeping a very high defensive line, and it's kind of scaring Southern back. You get them running laterally across the field a lot, and that's going to cost them yards.
Yeah, superb defense there by Yale. They've made 30-40 yards just from their defensive play, right?
And got the ball, the turnover there. A little bit of knock-on creeps in against Southern. Yale is going to have the ball with a scrum and loads of room to run here out on the right-hand side. They can put it in the hands of one of those speedsters. They should be good to go. We'll see what they come up with. And remember, 5:30, it's Yale men versus Harvard men, renewing a 130-plus-year-old rivalry. The game before the game here on Yale-Harvard weekend in New Haven.
That'll be a big one. There's a great buzz around town, especially with the big game tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that.
It's something I know pretty well. Believe it or not, my father used to be an usher at Yale football games when people came in here on trolleys in the 1930s. And I was actually an usher at the 100th game in the 1980s. So this is a neighborhood I grew up in, and a place I've been around for a long time. So the Yale-Harvard weekend is always a big one for New Haven. I'm sure you two will find a way to have a bit of fun this weekend.
Oh, I'd say we'll find a way somehow. We're chatting to the next door neighbor, an old retired New Haven firefighter, last night, and he had the same gig. He was a Yale usher at the games back in the day.
Yeah, it's certainly a big part of the community around here. Yale-Harvard weekend is always a good one. As we have this curtain raiser, we'll get back to action as Neal one more time to put this ball in.
Yeah, if they win their own scrum here, there's loads of space on the far side for Tasha Neal here. If you can get around that corner.
Oh, another tight head taken by the Bulldogs. A little pass out there. And a breakthrough. Yale again on the run and across the 22. She's got somebody chasing on her. Doesn't back her own speed. Decides to put that one up. Yale still on the move here. Just need to make something happen, and that's going to be the cutback that's going to do it. And it's going to be Ada Griffin to touch that one down, and that's first try of the game here. 5-0 for the Bulldogs right in front of the post. Kick to come.
Yeah, so hard to get after them in the softer pitches later in the year. Once they make a break, you're really behind the 8 ball trying to catch up.
And we did have a bit of rain this afternoon, so that certainly didn't help much. We are in a slightly swampy part of the city. That was no good. We're at 5-0. The Bulldogs over the Owls here. Just 2.5 minutes into this first half of sevens action here. Olympic-style rugby here at the Yale rugby pitch.
So they're going to want to keep it tight here, not let this game get away from them like it did the first time. I don't know what you think they're going to do, and how can they take advantage, get back here.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the basics you were talking about, the handling, the keeping clean, quick ruck ball.
I like this little attack of the guy right here. They're just popping the ball up off the ground rather than getting involved in those rucks. It's giving them a little more opportunity as a slight high tackle comes in there. Referee says it's okay, and a little offload game comes again there. Now they set it down.
Big hit there.
Yeah, big power to stay on her feet. She's got support players coming in.
Move it now, there's space wide.
I think that's the only runner out there. Everybody else seems to be on that side of the field, so bit of trouble here for Southern as they turn that ball back up. Again, just offloading it. Now they got Neal on the outside if they want her, but making a break they go, and Southern across midfield, across the Yale 40-meter line, tries for a little dribble kick in. Doesn't happen. Referee is going to hold us up here. It was a knock on there. We're going to have a scrum coming back to the Yale Bulldogs just outside of their own 22. That, that little offloading game really kept the ball alive and gave them that break. A little more of that. Southern could be across the whitewash.
I think you're dead right. They're starting to develop a way to not lose the ball at the breakdown. And if they need to offload it, give those little pop passes or suck in the extra players into a ruck, that's what they got to do to keep the ball moving. David, you were telling me in sevens play, you're generally only going to...
And that seems to be the end of our first half here, where Yale leads 5-0 over the Owls of Southern. The Bulldogs in the lead. We'll be back with second half action just after this. It's second half action here at the Yale rugby pitch. Yale with a slimmer lead at the beginning of the second half of this one to kick off to Southern. In the white and blue, referee says we're good to go. Second half, 7 minutes ago, underway here in this exciting warm-up matches on this Yale-Harvard weekend.
I think that's the best kickoff we've seen so far out of the three halves we've seen.
Yeah, and keep an eye on Yale's number 13 here. She was the central figure of the first game, really.
Southern really working to keep that ball alive, and have done, and trying to get it out to the wing. Let's see if they got some speed here, but they're going to cut back in.
Oh, good dominant tackle.
And Yale turns that one over, and they have the advantage. Headed for the try line they go. That's Rihanna. Waver headed towards the line. How do we check that name? And off they go again. right outside the try line. Did they bobble that forward? Referees taking a look at that one. Looks like it was a knock-on, but right on their own 5-meter line. Southern not out of trouble yet, but able to stop that score, and they will have the opportunity to go the distance here and tie this one up.
That was a pity. She should have hung on to that. A little bit of panic right in front of the line there, I think, and ball being offloaded needlessly. They had the numbers and they could have kept going.
Scrum here for Southern at their own line. Neal again to put this one in. The players out there having a little discussion about what they're going to do here. This is when you need your speed so you're going to hold the ball, but turned over on the line by Yale, and off they go. That's number 14 she scored today. Zerba as the ball comes up there. Jian Yao takes that one in, and they've got an open right-hand side, and that's that runner Zerba again. She's been across the try line today, and she's going to be in again as we have a little former soccer stadium malfunction there with a post in the way of one of our sight lines. But we swear she did score a try behind there. Just those little turnovers. Yale's really capitalizing on these things.
Yale's so dominant in the scrum. It's going to be very hard to get any parity if you're losing that every single time at that set piece.
Yeah, you can't afford to be losing a scrum on your own try line.
And we saw that in the World Cup final, right? South Africa dominated the scrum.
Yeah, get back to basics. Dominate the things you have to dominate. We have a free kick here. Showing a free kick. And it is going to be a free kick here for Southern. 10-0 Yale. That kick was no good. Not sure exactly what that free kick was for, but Southern has a better chance to attack here. They don't have to receive the kick. We'll see where they decide to go with this. The Owls certainly would like to put some points on the board here as we're just about 4 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the second half. Okay, interesting. She was showing free kick, then we went for a kickoff, so I'm a little confused by the referee's arm signals here. Apologies. And here comes that danger runner for Yale. Unfortunately, we do not
she's
have
in
her
again.
number, and she's headed for the try line. Dominant player, great runner. Touches down, try awarded. We're at 15 Bulldogs, 0 for Southern with a kick to come.
Great individual bit of speed there. She was waiting for this ball, and once she got it, she knew she was away. That's 3 players she just burnt on the outside.
Really strong runner, you know, but quicker than you'd think. She just doesn't look like she's moving as fast because just the clear power she's running with.
Strong arm there to hand off the last defender as well.
Yeah, you got to put in dominant tackles on strong runners like that. You got to wrap the arms, get the shoulder in, and drag them to the ground with you.
Yale kicker gets ready. That kick was no good as well. We're going to have Yale kick off, leading 15-0. That goes 10 meters and picked up, try score. There she goes across the 40-meter line. She's got the opportunity to score them back-to-back here. She's looking a bit winded there in the run, but she's going to go the distance and touch it down. Try awarded. We're at 20-0. She's certainly the difference maker in this second half.
Let me tell you, 2 runs like that in a row, she's going to be shattered. Time to come off, I'd say, if it was me.
Liam would have been off quite a bit earlier. As we take a look at the try score, kick to come.
Yeah, no, Props would have been looking for an offload there the whole way through that run. Would like a supporting player or two on either side of me.
Kick just pushes across the face of the post there. And we are at a good lead here for the Bulldogs. Time running down in the second half. Again, 5:30, we're going to be back up here on Next Level Rugby with ancient rivalry, Yale versus Harvard Rugby. There was Yale versus Harvard Rugby before Yale versus Harvard football. We'll discuss all that as the time comes on.
13 looks like she's going to have to stay in for another one.
Yeah, when you get a head of steam up here and you're scoring tries, you don't get quite as tired. It's the other side of the equation where it's a bit tougher. As kick goes across the 10-meter line, and here is Southern on the attack. Little errant pass goes up, but it's eventually brought down and caught. Let's see if Southern can string something together here. You really got a feel for them. They'd love to put some points on the board on this weekend. Long-standing program here in New Haven. The Southern Connecticut Owls.
Yeah, you'd love to see them get back to that pop game where they take the contact, draw the tackler, and then move the ball off quickly.
And there it is. But they're all a bit closed up in space here. All the players within about 10 meters of each other. But a nice break up the middle there they go, and they just need to reset this one as they got the Yale defense just a bit scrambled. Trying to get one of the players out there behind her, but it must be one of the newer players in this Southern team as ball goes to ground and off they go. Southern keeping this one alive. Good job. Nice little pick and go there from the number 5 for Southern.
Oh, 13 going for the steal.
13 is trying to poach that one over the top there. Referee given penalty advantage to Southern, so good work here as they get to the 40-meter line of the Yale Bulldogs and bundled in a touch. I'm sure we'll come back for that penalty. Let's see what happens here with the referee. Referee looking at her watch as time is winding down here, and our game clock, we just have about 10 seconds left. We'll see what Southern decides to do with the ball. The ball is in Jenna Hamoud's hands. They're going to want to run this and get the points as we just go over 14 minutes here at the Yale rugby pitch in this Yale Bulldog versus Southern Connecticut Owls matchup. Another little offload there by the Southern Connecticut team. Ball up in the Tori Corkland's hands. Here's one of their power runners just keeping that ball right up the middle there. Good potential poach by Yale, but they're able to recycle this one.
This could be their best chance to get some points on the board.
And a ball slips out there, and
Danger
who's on
time.
the spot? The danger runner it is. Can they drag her down? And one hand on. She's going to have to do a little bit of a sled run, and she's going to get to the try zone from there. Nice little offload, ball knocked forward by Yale. Referee whistles it up.
But she stuck with that tackle well, hung on.
And that's the good work there. That's the end of our game here. The end of our sevens matches, 20-0, Yale University. We look at certainly the MVP of the day in this Yale Bulldogs team, and that's going to be a 20-0. Yale wins both games over the Southern Connecticut Owls. Stay tuned, 5:30 kickoff, Yale University men versus the Harvard University men. One of the most ancient sporting rivalries in America coming up on Next Level Rugby at 5:30.